Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Gaming Foe here, back at it with another video. Today, I will be ranking in my opinion, my top Eastern Conference teams, starting all the way at Championship Contenders, Dark Horse Contenders, Borderline Playoff teams, No Man's Land, and Lottery Trash. Just to clarify, Lottery Trash does not mean these teams are absolutely terrible and shouldn't exist. But that means that this particular year, or maybe for the last couple of years, that team has been horrible and not even maybe 20, 25 wins. So let's just jump right into it. Got the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to put them at the no man's land for now. It's going to put them at borderline, but with their win-loss record this year, definitely not there quite yet. Like I said in a previous video, I don't think Trae Young quite elevates this team as much as people give him credit for. Definitely does not deserve to be in that MVP category. But the Hawks themselves, no man's land, not necessarily trash. Their record isn't great, but I could see their potential, their young players, as with high potential as they get better. This team could elevate. Boston Celtics, I'm gonna put them at dark horse contenders. Some people got these guys as actual championship contenders. I really don't see it in the East. I think Milwaukee's got that conference wrapped up this year. They're definitely conference finals contenders. I could see them going into finals. Maybe if Giannis got injured, or maybe something drastic happens and Jason Tatum or Kemba or Jaylen Brown, somebody just goes berserk in the playoffs. But right now, dark horse contender is actually where I've got them. Brooklyn Nets, I'm gonna put them at borderline playoff teams for this year. Obviously, they have KD and Kyrie. That's a championship contender team when those two guys are healthy. But this year, those guys are not healthy. Um, they've been led by Spencer Dinwiddie after Kyrie went out. He was almost an all-star this year, in my opinion. Definitely a team that is going to improve in the next couple of years. Definitely not no man's land. They have a goal. They know what they're doing. But this particular year, I'm going to put them at borderline playoff. Charlotte Hornets are also in no man's land for me. They're not terrible. People thought they would suck after they traded away Kemba. They lost Frank Kaminsky, I believe, to the Suns. Maybe that was Cody Zeller. Not sure, actually. But they're not a great team. They could be a playoff team with a couple new acquisitions, but I don't see with the way their roster set up with the core of Devonte Graham and Terry Rozier. I don't see that team being contenders at all anytime soon. They could be borderline playoff if they draft well, but unless some serious development from Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, Malik Monk, I don't see this team getting much higher. Chicago Bulls, I'm going to put them at lottery trash. This is a team that's roster makeup. It should be in borderline playoff. This is a team that everyone thought would be contending for a playoff spot in the East, but they've been just horrible this year. I mean, I'm going to say it's all Jim Boylen. It's their coaching. I have never seen a coach call timeout on a fast break. I mean, I haven't been watching basketball that long, but that's just something that just the concept of calling a timeout on a fast break just doesn't make sense to me. He's not a great coach. Probably a terrible coach. One of the worst coaches in the league. I know Bulls fans don't like him. Yeah, the Bulls, they should be better than they are, but hey, I mean, they're going to have another top pick this year. They can add to their collection of young talent, so maybe next year they could be in that borderline playoff position. With the Cavs, I'm going to put the Cavs at lottery trash. The Cavs haven't had a great season. You could argue that they're no man's land. They have Tristan Thompson, they have Andre Drummond, they have Kevin Love. Uh, but in general, this team just hasn't been great this year. I don't feel comfortable putting them here because this is no man's land. These are teams that you know what they're doing. I do not know what the Cavs are doing. They have two decent centers in Andre Drummond and Tristan Thompson. They have two point guards that each are young and require the ball in their hand. These are just it's not a team that knows what it's doing. Not a team that has a direction. Lottery trash for them is good at this point in time. Detroit Pistons definitely no man's land. This is a team just traded away its best player this year, Andre Drummond. They have an injured Blake Griffin. They have a couple young players, but honestly, I can't even name you anyone on their roster except for Blake Griffin and what was it, Christian Wood? Yeah, and Sekou Doumbaya. So like, not really a team with any direction. They're not terrible, not lottery trash, but definitely not a borderline playoff team this year. Indiana Pacers, I'm gonna put them at dark horse contenders. They're not. I don't consider them contenders in reality, but they're definitely not borderline playoff teams. They're consistently making the playoffs, around 50 wins each year. So definitely a team that would hope to contend, but they just need more star power. I don't consider Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis as a core. They made a nice addition of Malcolm Brogdon this year. They have Miles Turner. They have Jeremy Lamb, who tore up his knee a couple games ago or before the season went out. But definitely not a championship contender. Not at least until Victor Oladipo comes back, and I could see some like star power maybe added if they could sign a nice free agent. They could get Giannis in a couple of years, but I don't see that happening. Same thing with the Heat. Put them a dark horse contender. I've actually got them over the Pacers, to be honest. I don't see them as a team that could match up against the Bucks. But they have Jimmy Butler, they have Bam Adebayo, they have Goran Dragic. They have a nice core of players. They're really deep this year with Iggy, trading for Iggy and Jay Crowder. So definitely a team that has the depth, but not up there on the Milwaukee Bucks level. And speaking of the Bucks, here they are. You already know Milwaukee Bucks, number one championship contenders. I mean, MVP season for Giannis. I've got LeBron winning it, but pretty much it's up for debate. It's up for grabs. Giannis or LeBron. If the season continues, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, Giannis, the Bucks. Chris Middleton's having a great year. Eric Bledsoe's not doing too bad. Actually, pretty good. Brooke Lopez took a step back from last year, in my opinion, but still not bad. They have Giannis's brother, so they're making it to the finals, in my opinion. I don't really see any of these teams really matching up for them. New York Knicks, lottery trash. I don't really know what to say here. They're terrible. They have nice young players, but I can't. I don't know what they're gonna do with them because historically the Knicks with their young players last couple of years haven't really done great. Haven't really drafted well. They have RJ, they have Mitchell Robinson, but other than that, nothing else. Orlando Magic, also no man's land. They made the playoffs last year. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. I don't see this as a very good team, but they have Nikola Vucevic. They have Aaron Gordon. They have a couple nice young players. Markel Fultz is getting better every year, so I could see that as a potential contender, but at the moment, they're definitely in no man's land. Philadelphia 76ers, dark horse contenders. Really disappointing season for them. None of their players playing really well at all, to be honest. This is definitely a team that could have been on that championship contender level, but at the moment they're just not. They're not borderline playoff teams. They're going to make the playoffs consistently. They have the star power, just haven't lived up to expectations at all. Toronto Raptors, again, dark horse contenders. Last year with Kawhi, they were obviously better, but they haven't fallen off that much at all. Siakam has gotten better. Lowry stayed consistent. They still have Ibaka. They still have Gasol. Still a pretty good team. I could see them making a run to the conference finals. I don't see them dethroning the Bucks, but again, anything's possible, really. And then finally, the Wizards. I'm going to put them in no man's land again. They have Bradley Beal, but then they have a bunch of young players in Rui Hachimura. They have some veterans in Davis Bertans. So it's really confusing. John Wall's going to come back. I could see them being a borderline playoff team next year, but at the moment, they're really not. Just not where they probably want to be. I could see them trading Bradley Beal in the near future. So yeah, that's just my list of Eastern Conference teams, as you guys probably could tell. Now, in the future, I could definitely see Miami going up there as their Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson get better. Kendrick Nunn gets better. I think the Miami Heat, it's their conference. It's them and the Bucks in a couple of years. The Sixers got to get something together. They don't have enough shooting. So at the moment, they're really not it. If Siakam makes another improvement, it gets up to that MVP category. I could see that happening. I could see them getting up to the championship contenders. Nets, when Kevin Durant comes back healthy, definitely going to be in that championship contending. And with the Hawks is interesting in my opinion. They have a lot of young players, but Trae Young's got to take a step defensively. They need to get more defensive wings. They're young guys, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish. They got to develop. I don't know how they're going to go with Kevin Huerter. So it's just interesting to see that. So yeah, anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment what you want me to do next in the next video. And yeah,